everyone. So this is Vision IAS magazine and today I will be explaining economy section. So first topic is India's competitiveness roadmap. So it is in news because EAC PM it has released a report, the competitiveness roadmap for India at the rate 100. So what type of body is EAC PM? It means Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. It is a non-constitutional body. Firstly, it is not established or not mentioned in constitution. It is also a non-statutory body. It is not established by any law of the parliament or it has no legal powers. So it is non-constitutional. It means not established by the constitution and also non-statutory. It means not established by any law. So it is an independent body and it is only a advisory body. It means it can only give advice on economic issues to Government of India. It is not binding on Government of India. It is a only advisory body. What is competitiveness and where does India stand? So competitiveness means a variety of things. Larger market share, it has exchange rate, competitive, exports should be good enough, and FDI inflows must be increased. So firstly, what is market share? So market share is the percentage of total sales in an industry generated by a particular company. So if you can see in the top, market share formula is given. Market share is equals to total company share upon total industry share. So let me explain this market share with a very simple example. If a company, Colgate, sold 100 toothpaste per year, it sold only 100 toothpaste per year, but total amount of toothpaste that are sold per year are 1000, and in this 1000 it will include companies such as Colgate, Dant Kanti, Vico Turmeric, Close Up, etc. So Colgate company has a share of 10% because out of total 1000 toothpastes that are sold per year, 100 toothpastes are of Colgate brand. So Colgate company share is 10% and the market share of Colgate is 10%. So this is market share. It means total company share, that is Colgate, upon total industry share, that means toothpaste companies. Then exchange rate and why it needs to be competitive. So what is exchange rate? And market share must be larger. If there is a large market share of a company, then definitely that company sales will increase, their products will be sold in a bulk amount, and also it will make huge profit, and the industry and this company will dominate in that particular industry. Like if Colgate toothpastes are sold in a bulk amount, like in every home Colgate toothpaste is being used, then it will dominate the toothpaste industry. What is exchange rate? So exchange rate is a kind of value of one nation's currency in terms of another nation currency. So for example, US dollar to Indian rupee. So exchange rate is 80 because 1 US dollar is equals to 80 rupees. So their exchange rate is 80. So a competitive exchange rate will be good for the economy. Then exports must be in a bulk amount. If country's exports increases, then growth of the country is possible. Increased FDI inflows. So FDI is foreign direct investment. It means investment by the foreign companies or entities in our country. So if more foreign company invest in our country, so uh, it will be very good for competitiveness, and there is a need to make suitable conditions like good infrastructure and like other logistics cost, to reduce the logistic cost. Then the foreign companies will definitely invest in our country, and if FDI inflows are increased, then there is a good competitiveness. This competitiveness, it is centered around the overall productivity. Productivity of a country is the measure of how efficiently goods and services are produced. It means if there is a product if there is a product like sky bags, there is a bag of sky bag, then that particular bag, how efficiently, how cost effective that bag is. It means at the minimum cost it is produced, or at a minimum it means there's a so if at a minimum cost it is produced, then it will be competitive in the market. So productivity represents the effectiveness to mobilize countries' assets and available labor force to create value. So it will mobilize countries' assets, and the labor force will participation will also increase. As you know, next is India has seen significantly productivity rise in its journey to fifth largest economy of the world, with high growth rate since the economic reforms of 1991. So India has overtaken UK. It is now fifth largest economy, and it has a share of 3.5% in world GDP. So it is fifth largest economy, and it is currently dollar 3.8 billion economy, and it aims to become dollar 5 billion economy. Like PM has already mentioned that of the aim to achieve dollar 5 billion economy. So it is fifth largest economy, and it has become recently fifth largest economy, which is a kind of great achievement for India, and it encourages and it motivates to become a largest economy with more numbers. But sustainability of competitiveness, it does not depend just only on economic performance. It means competitiveness only not depend on the country's GDP. It only not depend on the how largest economy it is. So it is not only dependent on the economic factors, but it also depends on the other factors, such as how efficient government is, human capital of the countries at what position, then innovation, how far the country has reached in innovation, then resilience means if the country is hit by a kind of inflation or any economic problem, then how it faces it and how it overcome it. So it also depends on these factors too. India gained 6th position from 43rd to 37th rank in 2021 World Competitive Index. Recently, so it has achieved for 37th rank from 43rd rank, which was in 2020. Now it has 37 rank in World Competitiveness Index, which is kind of great achievement by India because it has gained 6 positions. Now what kind of challenges does India's competitiveness? There's a challenge of shared prosperity challenge. to ensure that India's social progress is in line with headline GDP growth rather than increasing inequality and overcome the lack of convergence across region. So firstly, uh, GDP, what is GDP per capita? So you can see there GDP per capita is GDP of the country upon total population of the country. So if GDP growth is there, then social progress will be ensured. It means, so GDP per capita is, it means with the increase in GDP of India, it should also make sure that income of the each household also increases, especially poor household. It means if GDP is increased, it has fifth largest economy and it has a 3.5% of in the world GDP. India has a share of 3.5% in world GDP. But if India GDP is so much, but in in each household the amount of income is not that much, then there is no benefit. It is a only half benefit because country is progressing, but uh, poor people, poor household are not being progressed by that GDP. So that means GDP per capita also increases if income of each household increases. Then there is a job challenge, creating jobs. So jobs must be created for for the labor force and especially for women and less skilled labor with increased formalization, because there is a lack of formal jobs and informal jobs are so much in which there is a kind of informality, and the regular wages are not given, or there is dropouts from the job and large working hours. So it create a problem in which there is no continuity in the job. So if jobs are created, then growth is possible. Policy implementation challenge. There is economic reforms in 1990, but impact of policy towards shared prosperity, job creation, and the growth of firms have fallen short of ambitions. It means in 1990 there was an economic reform which opened up the economy to the foreign countries, especially restrictions were removed from the economy, but the impact of these policies till now does not have a good impact on the job creation. It means job are still a problem in the country. Job are not created, and firms are also not grown which were expected to grow. So these are the also challenge which are for the competitiveness in the market. The next point is shifting external environment. So geopolitical tensions are rising in a large amount, like Russia Ukraine war, and also pattern of the globalization is changing. Climate change is also there. The global temperature is increasing, and there is a lot of problems which we face due to climate change. And digital transformation, these has led to multiple challenges. So what geopolitical tensions cause to the create problems. So the biggest risk to India's growth is geopolitical tensions. Firstly, due to COVID-19 pandemic, growth of the Indian economy was negative, which has been always positive. Like growth of the Indian economy in 2021 to 2020, 2022 to 2023 is expected to be at around 6.5% or 6.7%. But in the COVID-19 pandemic, it means in the financial year 2020 to 2021, the growth of the Indian economy was negative. And even after 2 years of COVID-19, like right now it is 2022, recovery is not very much and it is uneven in all sectors. Secondly, due to Russia-Ukraine war, inflation is above 6% of India. In from 7 months approx, inflation is above 6%. Food prices, fuel prices also get raised due to it. And due to war, India's GDP growth rate is also reduced. It was expected to grow at around above 8%, but right now it is expected to grow at 7% or around 6.5% in this year. So these kind of things create problems in the Indian economy. Managing trade disruptions, if there's a kind of trade which is disrupted due to geopolitical tensions, then it should be managed. And energy security, like fuel crisis was there because supply was halted, it was not there. And GDP growth post the pandemic, inflationary pressures and supply chain bottlenecks. To overcome these challenges, these several measures have been taken across sectors, which I mentioned above. Then what initiatives taken and associated obstacles which India faced? So India has faced a lot of obstacles by sector wise, and there are also initiatives which are taken, and there are also obstacles which come in that sector. So first is agriculture sector. So progress is, it is, or initiative is, it is critical for food security, and it has become net exporter instead of from acute shortage nation. It means right now the agriculture in our country, it has like done a good, it has like a good job in which net exports is currently in a bulk amount, and what the agriculture produce is there in the country, it is sufficient for the country's demand, and it also export a bulk amount of agriculture produce to other countries. So it is not a kind of acute shortage nation, but it is a exporter in that sector. What are the obstacles that agriculture face? So agriculture remains the biggest employer. It means 40% of the people are involved in agriculture. Despite decelerating profitability, profit is not there and growth is also restricted, and also there are natural shocks such as huge amount of flood, or in the north part rains are not, there is a shortage of rain which impact the paddy field. So these problems create in the agriculture sector. Sustainability challenge are also there, like how much amount is expended. Then it means fertilizer use, pesticides, it is in terms of environmental impact. It means the crop that are being produced, if there is a lot of use of fertilizer in that, then soil fertility will decline and it will have huge environmental impact. So it is also a kind of challenge in that. So obstacle also, it means 40% employed person are in agriculture sector despite so many challenges, like decrease in profit by the farmers, especially by small farmers. It is because of many factors such as free electricity. So free electricity which farmer use in villages by the electricity, so it has lead to decrease in groundwater levels, so due to which farmers have to dig more deeper to find water, which add input cost of the farmer, because there is a kind of free electricity, people are using illegally free electricity, so they are using a huge amount of water, and if they are using huge amount of water, then definitely groundwater will decrease, and the farmer will have to invest huge amount, or the input cost of the farmer will increase, because it has to dig more deeper to find the water, it will need more specialized instrument or machines, and also soil fertility is also decreased, productivity crop productivity of the crop will also not good. So these type of obstacles with the agriculture sector faced. Then next is manufacturing. So due to liberalization of economy in 1991, it boost foreign investment, like foreign investment in the country were increased, because economy was liberalized, restrictions were removed, so foreign companies improved because rules and regulations were made easy for them. Then it also increased employment opportunity. Then what obstacle manufacturing sector faced? So obstacle is that contribution of manufacturing sector, it means manufacturing sector in the overall GDP has a contribution of only 15 to 17% since 1991. It means that at the 1991 it was fixed at 15 to 17%, and in 2021 even after 30